Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a brand new pregnancy update. So I thought today I would film a new pregnancy update for you. I've been trying to film them like every maybe like 2 to 3 weeks and talking about whether it's just like one particular week or like a bunch of different weeks together depending on what has happened, because I don't want to be filming something every week if nothing's really happened or changed, and then it'll just get a bit repetitive and boring. Before we get into the video, if you can hear my little boy George, he is next door. He is playing with my partner and they are currently playing trains together, and he absolutely loves trains and he gets so excited, so he makes so much noise, but that's what being a parent is. So if you can hear a little boy, that will be my boy next door. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you as a viewer. I don't know if you guys watch my other videos, but I was trying really desperately to hit 1,100 subscribers and I hit that the other day. Sometimes it does tend to like dip down under that, but I'm sort of like around that area. So if you have subscribed, thank you so much, it means so much to me. And if you're not subscribed, then hit that button, it's completely free to do so, but it really does mean a lot to me. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay, so I'm coming up to 27 weeks pregnant in 2 days time, which is madness that I have almost hit the 3rd trimester, and I just don't know how quick or where those last 2 trimesters have gone. It's gone so quickly. It was back in September that I originally found out I was pregnant, and now we're in February and it's like a couple more months and baby's going to be here, which is just madness. I think the last update then I posted was a 20 to 24 week pregnancy update, so I'm going to kind of post about or talk about things that have happened between 24 weeks and 26 weeks, because this will be the last video now of my 2nd trimester. Not a lot has happened, like not a great deal. There are a few sort of changes in like my cravings, my symptoms. I've had a few appointments as well, and a couple of trips to maternity daycare which haven't been fun, but I thought I'd better get one last 2nd trimester video in there, one last bump update for the 2nd trimester as well, before we go into the 3rd, and we can do the updates going forward that are probably going to start getting a lot more real in terms of baby coming. So that's really exciting. First of all then, I can't remember what order I normally do this in terms of like cravings, feelings, symptoms, appointments, etc. So I'm just going to start off with the symptoms then that I've been having or I've been suffering with. I think I spoke about it briefly maybe in my 20 to 24 week pregnancy update video, but I'm still really badly suffering with the worst Braxton Hicks. Braxton Hicks, if you don't know what they are basically false contractions, fake contractions that prepare your body for labour. So it's basically just your uterus preparing itself by practicing to tighten and release again, to practice for those real contractions that are going to come in however many months' time. Now, some people don't ever have them. My sister-in-law, she recently just had a baby and she didn't get them till much later on in the pregnancy, and I think even then she didn't have that many of them, whereas I've been getting them since 20 weeks, which is really fun, and I had them with George as well, and they're not painful, they're just uncomfortable, and really noticeable. And I've been doing like research online and it kind of says that they can start anywhere from 16 weeks, but you don't tend to feel them until much later on, and even then it's like a couple of times an hour. Probably get one every 10 minutes or so. Obviously I've spoken to healthcare professionals, spoken to my midwife, they don't seem bothered about it at all at the moment, just telling me to keep an eye on it. If I get any like more intense pain or they get more regular and consistent, then obviously let someone know. But at the moment I'm just having lots of fun with my tummy getting incredibly hard and the baby kind of inside thinking, oh, what's going on, and then kicking me ridiculously, so that's fun. Secondly to that, I don't know if I spoke about this before, but I have definitely been suffering with the worst hip and back pain. Now I don't know if it's called pelvic girdle pain. I think in a previous video I called it pelvic girdle pain, but I think that's maybe what I have. Or my sister-in-law, she had SPD, which she said it could be that perhaps. My midwife is on annual leave this week, so I haven't actually really been able to speak to her much about it. I texted her a couple of times telling her how much much pain I was in, and she recommended a website for stretches and things to try and help with that. I also was really kindly gifted by my auntie and my cousin and my uncle a huge maternity pillow. I think it's from Mamas and Papas, and I will link it down below if I can find it, because it has been a lifesaver. And I sleep with it. I have it downstairs on the sofa, and it's just really nice getting into that sort of right position at night time when you're feeling uncomfortable. So this has really helped. And then also, I don't have it on me now because I just got dressed and I haven't put it on yet, but I have also got a pregnancy belt. So it's a belt really that sort of goes around your bump, velcros at the back, and just sort of ever so slightly lifts up your bump and just supports it a little bit. My mum kindly bought that for me as well, so thank you, Mum. And that also has been really helping. I've been wearing that about 3-4 days now, and that's really been helping as well. So I'm just trying to do anything I can. Oh, plus also bouncing on a ball. I've got a like a pregnancy ball, like one of those like yoga balls that my sister-in-law kindly gave me. I've just been really spoiled, all from, you know, different family members. Everyone's looking after me, and she gave me her ball, so I've been sort of not doing like rigorous bouncing on that, but I've been doing sort of gentle movements on that to sort of try and like spread my hips and my back and just sort of stretch and flex everything up. But yeah, that is the two biggest symptoms then that I have just been really suffering with the last couple of weeks, is just severe back and hip pain. Even struggling to do the most simple tasks like pick up George is really hurting, having to clean is really hurting, and going into work, like driving my car, parking it and walking into work with my bag, my laptop case and everything else that I need. So work have been really accommodating, letting me work from home, which is really lovely of them. So yeah, that's really where we are in terms of symptoms. Now, I have actually been having a few cravings. I don't know if I've really spoken about cravings. All my cravings, I think, seem to be sweet things. A couple of weeks ago, I couldn't stop eating like jacket potatoes and mashed potato that I would make myself. And I would be up at like 10:30 at night mashing potatoes with loads of butter and cheese. And it was delicious, but now I'm all about the sweet things. So at one point I was craving like sour Skittles. Now I'm craving Viennese whirls, you know, the Mr. Kipling cakes. Oh, they're so good. I could just devour a whole 6-pack, which I know is terrible for me and probably my weight and my cholesterol, I'm sure. But they are so good, like how crumbly the biscuit cake part is, and then you've got the buttercream and the jam. They're just so good. And they're on offer in Sainsbury's at the moment for £1, which is just a bargain. So I've been eating a lot of Viennese whirls, and just eating in general. I can't really stop eating. Just want to eat everything I can. I did have an appointment the other day, and I think in total I've put on 19 pounds since the beginning of the pregnancy. Baby only weighs like 2 pounds at the moment, or maybe even less than that, and I know there's so much like fluid in me and the placenta and so much else going on, but I feel like maybe I have put on a little bit of pregnancy weight by eating so much. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just can't stop eating because everything tastes good, and I think it's just something to do, maybe to take my mind off how I'm feeling about my back and my hips. But yeah, I just can't stop. So anything sweet is delicious, and just food in general really, I don't really want to stop eating. So in terms of appointments then, I can't remember if I've had a normal midwife appointment since my last update with you guys. But the last update, I'll just kind of briefly go over it just in case I didn't mention it. All was fine. She listened to baby's heartbeat, which was great. She sent off my urine sample, which still contains group B strep, which is perfect. That was sarcasm. And my blood pressure is fine. It's always on the lower side, so it was low, but that's kind of like normal for me. And she was giving my blood test forms to have my blood test done at 28 weeks, which is booked in for a couple of weeks' time, or like a week and a bit's time. And then I also had just a couple of days ago, I had my preterm clinic appointments. So if you don't watch these videos, or you haven't watched any of my other videos before, I had a premature baby before, so this time I've been referred to a premature birth clinic, which kind of monitors your pregnancy to see whether it's going to happen again or spot the signs that it could be going that way. All is fine at the moment. Obviously they've been scanning my cervix, which has to be like a certain length before they're even concerned, and I believe my cervix has been getting slightly shorter, which I think is normal throughout getting to the end of pregnancy, but not to the point where they're worried at all at the moment about premature birth at the moment. They're keeping me on, so I've still got to go and see them every 3 weeks, but I think a lot of that is about sort of reassuring me, because I've been feeling so much anxiety and worry about this baby coming early as well. So yeah, I think they're just keeping me on to keep monitoring me for my own sort of reassurance and peace of mind. But it was lovely to see her because she is such a lovely lady. She doesn't, I don't think she has to, because she normally is just there to scan my cervix, but she always scans my tummy as well so I can see baby. And he just looks so big. I could see like his toes and his fingers. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. And then one other sort of main thing to talk about was I ended up at triage the other day, which wasn't that great. I was having I've been having obviously that really bad sort of back pain in my lower back, radiating maybe around to my hips, and I've been getting like the worst shooting pain. I think it's called lightning crotch, and I don't want to say this in like a weird way, but I've been getting like pains inside, like almost where my cervix I can imagine is, and I'm guessing it's baby really low down kicking that area, just being a little rascal and making me feel uncomfortable. But then I was also getting obviously the Braxton Hicks, so I called my midwife because I called the maternity unit because the midwife is on annual leave, and they said because of your past history, just come in, we'll get you checked over. So went to daycare, they put me on the monitor after forgetting me for 2 hours in the waiting room, which wasn't great. There was a very unkind midwife there who was just not understanding in any way at all, and the other sort of remaining midwives and the doctors and the consultants that saw me were very apologetic about her behaviour, and I think I almost cried. It was just so pathetic, but I was just so emotional and tired at that point. But they put me on the monitor, and they were basically monitoring to see if I was having contractions, and it was picking up that I was having these Braxton Hicks regularly. They were quite intense, like I've got the graph downstairs I think, but they were just sort of doing this, like really like peaking. So they checked my cervix was nice and closed. They did a swab to see whether premature birth is likely in the next sort of week or so, which, funny story, that came back negative, which they said is fine, you're not going to be having a baby in the next week. But I actually had that test when I was pregnant with George. So when I'd lost my plug and I thought my waters were slowly leaking, I went into daycare and they swabbed me and said that the swab came back negative. And the doctor said with George that you're not going to go into preterm labour, these tests never fail, it's negative, go home, you're fine. 2 days later my waters broke and I ended up having him early. So I don't really have much faith in those tests, but I do have faith in that my cervix is nice and closed, which is perfect. So I don't think premature birth is going to happen this time, but I am definitely anxious about it happening again. But they were so lovely at the hospital and just said, any worries, any concerns, day or night, just come back up and they'll see me to put my own mind at rest, which makes me feel good and happy. So that is pretty much everything that's happened between maybe like 24 weeks and 26 weeks. And like I say, there hasn't been a great deal to talk about, but I just wanted to get one last video in there before I go into the 3rd trimester. So I think this is where I'm going to end today's video. Of course, I will do a bump update, but before I do that, if you did enjoy, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you as a viewer, and I will show you my bump, but if not, I will see you in another video. Take care, bye! Okay, so this is my bump. I'm actually not wearing maternity trousers. I just don't have many clothes that fit, and although I've bought some clothes, I did like a maternity haul if you want to watch that, I'll link it down below. I didn't get a great deal because I can't find much that I like, so I'm just kind of making do with my normal clothes as well. So these trousers in the viewfinder, they actually look ridiculous. But yeah, this is bump then for 26 weeks. It's getting pretty big. getting pretty big indeed, and it's starting to have like a weird, my belly button's starting to get weird as well. But yes, my little boy is calling me. I'm guessing Daddy isn't paying him enough attention, so I'm gonna go and see what George wants. But thank you so much for watching, and take care.